explaining you the first topic, that is classification of resources. Children, we have so many resources present around us. For example, wind or air, sun, land, soil. So many resources are present around us. But my question is, how to categorize or how to classify these resources? How can we classify these resources into groups or on certain basis? Let me take an example. If I ask you to classify your classroom, to classify your classmates, then how will you classify them? First thing can be you can classify them on the basis of gender, like male and female. Next, you can classify them on the basis of academics. Means if certain students like English, then they can be grouped into one. Then the students who like Hindi, they will be another group for them. Then the students who like social studies, another group will be there. The students who like science, another group will be there. So this way, they can be classified on the basis of academics. Now, if I talk about sports, if you have to classify your classmates on the basis of sports, how you will classify them? If some students like badminton, then a group will be there for badminton. Then the students who like chess, then there will be another group. Then the students who like table tennis, there will be another group. Or you can classify the students who like to play indoor games and the students who like to play outdoor games. So there are several ways through which we can classify our classmates. So similarly, children, if I talk about resources, there are several ways by which we can classify the resources. And here we will be studying about 4 types. We will be classifying resources into 4 groups, and there will be several points, several groups in that topic. So children, first classification is on the basis of origin. Origin means from where they originated, and in this classification it is divided into 2 groups. The first one is biotic resource and the second one is abiotic resource. Then the second classification is regarding on the basis of exhaustibility. Exhaustibility means whether they end or not. So on the basis of exhaustibility, there are 2 groups. The first one is renewable resource and the second one is non-renewable resource. Then let's come to the third classification. Then they are classified on the basis of ownership. Children, ownership means possession, means how you own. Ownership means you own it, how you own it. That refers to ownership. So on the basis of ownership, they are divided into 4 groups. The first one is individual resource, the second one is community resource, the third one is national resource, and the fourth one is international resource. And let's come to the last classification. The last classification is on the basis of status of development. Children, in this also, this is classified into 4 groups. On the basis of development, the first one is potential resource, the second one is developed resource, the third one is stock, and the fourth one is reserves. So I will be explaining you all the classification in detail now. Let's start with the first one, children, with the explanation of first category. So our first category is on the basis of origin. So as I told you that on the basis of origin, they are divided into 2 groups. The first one is biotic and the second one is abiotic. So what is the meaning of biotic and what is the meaning of abiotic? Children, biotic means these are obtained from the biosphere and they have life. In short, you can say that living beings, all the living beings are included in biotic. For example, it may be plants, animals, human beings. Means we are also resource, human beings are resources, animals are resources, plants are resources. So the resources that have life, they are referred to as biotic resource. Now let's come to the second one, abiotic. Children, from the word only you can identify and understand the meaning. If biotic means the resource that have life, then abiotic means the resources that do not have life, the non-living things. They are called as abiotic. For example, sun, air, wind, water, etc. means whatever is there around us which do not have life, which do not have life, refers to abiotic. Biotic means the resources that have life, and abiotic means the resources that do not have life. Now children, let's move to the second category, that is on the basis of exhaustibility. Children, exhaustibility means whether they end or not. If something is born, then that means it has to end. So we will see the resources that end and the resources that do not end. So they are classified into two groups, as I told you. The first one is renewable resource and the second one is non-renewable resource. Now what do you understand by renewable and non-renewable? Children, renewable resource, it means the resources which can be renewed or reproduced by physical, chemical or mechanical process. They are called as renewable resource, or they are also called as replenishable resources. Means they do not end. They will sustain forever. We cannot ruin it. We cannot destroy it. They will sustain with us. That refers to renewable resource. For example, solar energy, wind energy. We cannot destroy it, we cannot ruin it. They are found in abundance. We have so much wind, we have solar energy. It is a continuous flow. It cannot come to an end. So, the things, the resources that do not come to an end refers to renewable resource. Next we have non-renewable resource. Children, the resources, these resources, they take millions of years in their formation, and some of the resources like metals, they are recyclable, and some like fossil fuel, petroleum, they cannot be recycled. Means once they get exhausted, we cannot use them again. For example, petroleum, coal, fossil fuel, these are the examples of non-renewable resource. Means once we have used them, it will be finished and it will take millions of years to form again. That is why it is said that we should use the renewable as well as non-renewable resource judiciously, so that it is kept, it is preserved, it is conserved for our future generation also, our children, our grandchildren and our generations beyond, they can use such resources. Now let us see the third category, the third classification, that is on the basis of ownership. On the basis of ownership means who owns it, who is the owner of that resource. So children, they are classified into four groups. The first one is individual resource, the second one is community resource, the third one is national resource, and the fourth one is international resource. So we will deal with all the four one by one. So the first one is individual resource. Children, the resources that are owned privately by individuals. There are certain resources that we own it privately or individually. Those resources are called as individual resources. For example, plots, flats or other resources. For example, if I talk about my home, then this is my home, this is my house, this is my land. I am the owner of this land. Nobody can come and claim it. This is mine. So this is mine. So this refers to individual resources. Means we own it privately or we own it individually. Our land, that is on our name, that refers to individual resource. Next we have community owned resources. Children, these are resources which are accessible to all members of the community or to all members of the society. Means the resources that can be used by all the members jointly. Those resources are considered to be as community owned resources. For example, picnic spots, public parks, burial grounds, everybody can access, everybody can use. If I talk about the public places, the public parks, everybody can use it. It is not individually owned, it is of the government and everybody is free to use such resources. So these are called as community owned resource. Means the community, the whole society can use them. Okay. Now let's come to the third one, that is national resources. Children, technically all the resources, they belong to the nation. Either the individual one, the private ones or the community ones. Means everything is of the nation only. But for an understanding, in order to understand the concept in a better way, the resources coming under the territory of a country, they are called as national resource. Means whatever resources they are coming under the territory of the country, they are considered as national resources. For example, it includes all the minerals, the water resources, forest, wildlife, the land within the political boundaries, the ocean area up to 12 nautical miles. What is 12 nautical miles? 12 nautical miles means 22.2 kilometers, means the ocean area that is up to 22.2 kilometers from our boundary, that refers to 12 nautical miles. So these things, they come under national resources. Now the fourth one we have international resources. Children, international resources are the resources which are not being owned by any specific nation, and there are international institutions which regulate such resources. They are considered, these type of resources are considered to be international resources. For example, children, the oceanic resource beyond 200 nautical miles of the exclusive economic zone, it belongs to the open ocean, and no individual country can utilize these resources without the permission of international institution. For example, UNO, United Nations Organization, they are heading these resources. Without permission of these institutions, no individual country can utilize them or use it. So this is on the basis of, these are on the basis of ownership. Now let's come to the last classification, that is on the basis of development, on the basis of status of development. So in this we have four groups. The first one is potential resource, second one is developed resource, third one is stock, and the fourth one is reserve. So let us deal with all the four one by one. So first one is potential resources. Children, the resources which are found in a region but they have not been utilized, means they have the potential but we have not utilized it up to its potential. We have not utilized it fully. For example, solar energy. Are we utilizing each ray of sun? No, we are not utilizing each and every ray of sun. Definitely this resource has potential, but even though it has potential, we are not utilizing it fully. That refers to potential resources. From the word only you can identify, you can know the meaning. Potential means it is having the potential, but we have not used it fully. We have not used it up to its full potential. That refers to potential resources. For example, solar energy, wind energy. We are not using every wind. We are not using it. Definitely it has potential, but we are not able to use it fully. Next, let's come to the second one, that is developed resource. Children, the resources which are surveyed and their quality and quantity have been determined, means we know the quality of it, we know the quantity, means how much it is present in our environment, and the quality and quantity has been determined for utilization, means we know that how much we have to use it. We have already identified it, we have already surveyed it. So the development of resources depend on technology and level of feasibility. For example, petroleum. Petroleum is a resource. We have developed petroleum. We know that what is the quantity and what is the quality of petroleum. We have proper techniques and we are using it with the help of proper techniques. From the name only, developed resource means these resources have developed and we are using it up to maximum. Whatever we can use it up to its maximum, we are using it. That is why such resources are called as developed resource, because they are already developed and we are using it fully. Next one is stock. Children, the materials in our environment which have the potential to satisfy human need, but human beings do not have appropriate technology to access these stocks, and they are termed as stocks. Means they have the potential to satisfy our need. They definitely have it, but we human beings, we do not know how to use it. We do not have proper technical know-how. We do not have proper or appropriate techniques in order to extract it and in order to use it. So these resources are termed as stock, means they are kept safely. We know that definitely they have the potential, but still we are not able to use it because of lack of techniques, because of lack of technology. So such type of resources are called as stocks. Now the last one, we have reserves. Children, reserves are the subset of stock. Now what do you understand by this? It means that it can be put into use with the help of proper and existing technical know-how. Means we have that technique, that from the earlier technique we can definitely use that reserve, we can use that resource, but their usage, they have not been started. Means we have not started using those resources. Definitely we have it, and with the help of our previous technical methods we can use them, but at present the usage has not been started. For example, children, let me take example of internet. Right now we are using 4G, 5G is also coming, 6G is also there. We have proper techniques, but we have not started to use it. They are reserved. Reserved from the term only you can get. Means they are reserved, they are preserved. They will be used definitely. We do have proper technical know-how. But right now we are not using. Even we are not using 5G. We are using 4G at present. So definitely it is there, but the usage has not been started. So this was all about classification of resources.